This homeless family became millionaires. Here's how: imagine being a single parent of a toddler, homeless, sleeping in subway bathrooms, with less than $20 in your pocket. Now imagine turning that around to become a millionaire stockbroker. Sounds like a movie plot, right? Well, it is, but it's also the real-life story of Chris Gardner. Let's know how that happened. In 1981, Chris Gardner wasn't just broke. He was completely invisible to the world around him. He was a 27-year-old struggling salesman in San Francisco, trying to sell bone density scanners to doctors who didn't want them, living paycheck to nowhere. His bank account was almost empty. His dreams of becoming a doctor had long faded, and his marriage was collapsing. But the real turning point? His wife walked out, leaving him alone with a toddler son, and no money, no home, no backup plan. He tried to hold it together, but the day his bank account hit $22 and he was evicted, reality hit harder. Chris and his son were homeless. He didn't tell his son, not exactly. He kept it cheerful, saying, "We're going on an adventure." But at night, that adventure meant hiding in public restrooms at BART train stations, waiting for the crowd to clear so they could sneak into a stall and lock the door. Chris would lay down a coat on the cold bathroom tiles, cradle his son to sleep in his lap, and cry silently while pretending to rest. Some nights they slept in shelters. Other nights they simply wandered the streets until morning came. And during the day, Chris dressed up in a suit and fought, not for food, but for his future. Despite having no college degree, no connections, and no money, Chris had applied and somehow landed an unpaid internship at Dean Witter Reynolds, a highly competitive stock brokerage firm. The internship came with no salary, and dozens of candidates were competing for just one real job at the end of it. He had to learn financial markets from scratch, memorize pages of technical data, make 200 cold calls a day, and still find time to pick up his son and stand in line at shelters, all with the stress of knowing any mistake could cost him the one shot he had. He showed up early, stayed late, made more calls than anyone else in the room. Sometimes he had to choose between buying a sandwich and paying for daycare, but he chose to keep showing up. Then came the miracle. He got the job. One full-time offer. Dozens of candidates. Chris got it. He didn't celebrate with champagne. He went straight to the shelter and hugged his son with tears in his eyes. He didn't just break a generational cycle, he shattered it. From that moment, the grind continued, but this time with traction. Chris excelled in the financial industry. In 1987, he launched his own brokerage firm, Gardner Rich & Company, headquartered in Chicago. He started with just $10,000 in one small desk, but within years, he was managing multi-million-dollar investments. His net worth soared, but he never forgot where he came from. In interviews, Chris has said the lowest moment of his life wasn't being broke. It was seeing his son sleep on the bathroom floor. That moment, he says, burned a fire into him that never went out. His story became so powerful that it inspired the 2006 film, The Pursuit of Happiness, starring Will Smith. But the real story, the one that matters, isn't just about a man becoming rich. It's about a father who refused to give up, even when the world gave him every reason to. Here's a quick question. Would you have faith that you could be a millionaire while you live in your car with no savings to rely on?